So my wife and I just got moved into our new house. We got everything unboxed and organized. And one of the first things that I told myself I wanted to do once we got moved in was clean up all these trees that had fallen on this hauler. The road that we live on is a nice straight road. I drive it every day, and I see all these trees that have fallen down. We got a wood stove in the house, and I'm just thinking, man, I'd really like to have that for some firewood, because it's been down for a couple of years. It's going to be seasoned out, some good wood. But the only thing is, it's on the side of a decently steep hauler, and I've not really ever walked it. But I'm going to get out there today. I got my saws with me. I'm going to go around, buck off the stumps that have fallen. I'm also going to go out and top it off, just where I can get the logs, and then I'm going to take them, potentially get the skidder over, or maybe just hook a chain to a truck and pull them up onto the field. Once they're up in the field, I'm going to be able to cut them up there. But today I just want to go around, buck everything up, get it to where I can move it, and I'll come back in another video on another day when I got more time. I'm going to get them all out. So without further ado, let's go check this out. Guess somebody just wanted to dump a dishwasher right there. That's lovely. First one I always see whenever I'm walking through here is this big sycamore. Yeah, I mean, I've never burned sycamore, but that's a pretty decent looking tree. And I'll definitely probably be able to top some of this stuff off, get it to where I can get it picked up and cart it out of here. Plus it's pretty close to the side of the road, so this shouldn't be too hard of a piece to get out. I think I'm gonna go up here next. There's looks like a couple of dead oaks that have fallen down, and I'm gonna see what those look like as well. And after further inspecting these trees when I got a little bit closer, turns out they were both cherry. Definitely not oak, but I'll take some seasoned cherry wood any day. It burns really well. It is going to be a little bit hard to cut it right here just because it is kind of up off the ground a little bit. The root wad might kind of move a little bit, but I think I'm going to be all right. Let's keep walking down the hauler here and see what else we can find. All right, I'm finally in the spot with these trees where these are the ones that I primarily see in the road and the ones that I always want to cut up, so let's see. And the first tree that we're going to look at here is this old poplar tree. Just a little one that got blown over by some wind, and that's how most of these trees ended up falling. It was a big windstorm that came through. So yeah, base just gave out and ended up falling. Next one that I came up to, and that was the first tree that I really noticed falling over here, was this big red oak. And unfortunately, I thought I was going to be in better shape, but it's kind of doty. It's kind of not really super pumped about that, but oh well. And the other one were just these two. I believe those are some maple trees. Gotta make some decent wood with those as well. Hey, with the price of scrap metals rising up, I just found me my next scrappable item here. Don't know what this thing is. It's an old belt off of something. Looks like some sort of maybe a, oh, I don't know what's really in there though. Maybe a bed frame or some sort of a frame off of something. Let's see if I can get this thing out. Yeah, I'll come back for that. Next tree on the hauler was this hard maple that had fallen over. I ended up not getting this one in the beginning, and I ended up coming back to it towards the end of the video. And I finally got to the main little clump of trees I usually see, and I'm always thinking, man, that makes some really good firewood. And it's these bad boys right here. I'm gonna top off a lot of this, just because I think I'm probably gonna use the skidder to pull it out, and I don't really wanna try and, I don't know. To be honest, having a bunch of tops there doesn't really bother me, but it's just whenever you see these decent sized logs standing here, or laying here, and not decent in the sense of like a timber log, but I mean, I don't want them to be like that red oak where they just sit there. So yeah, it's got some good girth to it. I'll cut that one off up there, cut that one off, I'll cut this one off. Big root ball. And I actually didn't mess with these trees at all throughout this entire video, and they're still laying there to this day. The root ball was too weird, and it also got a little slick, and I tried to slide whenever I was trying to get them, and it just felt unsafe for me, so I decided not to mess with them. Yeah, these got some good size to them. They'll make some good wood. And there's a few other trees on down the line a little bit, but I need to get my saw. I need to start cutting. And obviously, sycamore is not the most ideal firewood that you want to be throwing in your stove and burning. But the main reason that I wanted to make this video, and the main reason that I'm out here actually doing this, was I just wanted to clean up the property and make it look a little more appealing from the road. All these trees had fallen down and it just kind of looked like a jumbled up mess, so I decided to grab my saw and I just wanted to clean it up a little bit. And while sycamore is not the best wood to throw in your stove and burn, I'm already here, I'm already cutting it, I'm already out there, so why not keep it? Alright, that's managed. Looks a lot better kind of thrown down there, not just this huge sycamore branch there. Got this bucked up a little bit into some manageably smaller pieces. Next up, Let's go buck the end off that bad boy. Whew. Workout. I'm gonna cut down there, but I need to get this log into a manageable size where I'm gonna be able to actually pull it out. So I'm just gonna cut this log, buck the end off, go all the way up here, cut it right here at this fork. Then I can go down through here later whenever I got more time. I can cut this up into some reasonable pieces, maybe get it on a sled or a cart or something, pull it out, or just throw it down there. Anyway, let's cut this first one. Sweet. And once the base was cut off, it was time to go up and top it off. Once I did that, it was on to tree number 2, which was a little bit more challenging because it was a little higher off the ground. But all I had to do was move this grandfather Methuselah old dead tree out of the way, pick up my saw, start it, and then start making my cut. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't too close to the root ball, just in case I had to jump out of the way. And then whenever I had it about 95% of the way cut, it still wasn't moving. I tried to throw this big rock at it and it still didn't move it, but I ended up calling it good enough and moved on to the next tree. That's my liking. I'm off to the next one. All right, off to the second little patch here. Obviously not gonna touch that red oak because it was totally rotted, but I am gonna go ahead and come over here and top these off. So yeah, once again, I just want to reiterate, this doesn't necessarily have to be done. I'm just doing it because I want to. Whenever I drive by, I don't like seeing a bunch of treetops laying there on the ground. I want to try and get these pushed down a little bit where they're going to lay better, and I'm able to see all the other natural beauty that's going on, not just a bunch of tops. And I really like using this little trick here whenever I've got a piece that I want to cut up and I want to make another cut further up. I didn't want it to be down into the ground whenever I was cutting. I wanted it to still be upright a little bit more. So I put that under there as a little stand, and it did its job. It stayed up really well. And at about this time, it kind of started raining on me a little bit, so I decided to call it quits for that day, come back after work the next day, grab my saw, walk back down to the spot, and start cutting again. This was one of the trees that I really wanted to get to the other day, but I wasn't able to get to it because of the inclement weather that was coming in. But, pretty good looking tree. I think this is a oak, or a hard maple. Could have tapped this and made some maple syrup with it, but oh well. I'm gonna scale my way up this thing, and I'm gonna cut the root ball off first, then I'm gonna come down and top it off. And I had used this chain without sharpening it for a ton of other stuff other than just the stuff I was cutting in this video, so at this point the chain was absolutely duller than a hoe. It took me about 6 minutes to make this cut. My gosh. Alright, well that was completely awful. This chain is very, very dull. And thus my cuts are gonna suck. On to the next one. These are really the last trees that I really wanted to mess with today. I was gonna try and get those up on that hill, but I was walking up there and I freaking fell down because it's too slick, so I'm just not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna get them cleaned up so I can either pull the tops off or come through and buck this up into wood or do something with it. I just wanna clean it up and just not make it look so jumbled up on the side of this hill. Whew. Kind of wore out though, had a long day at work, but I wanna get this done, call it an evening. And I wasn't kidding about the maple syrup either. This is a hard maple, and as you can see, the sap is just falling out of it. And I ended up getting a little bit on my tongue to try and taste it. Didn't really taste that good, and I think it gave me diarrhea, but oh well. I ended up getting a little bit of a refreshing taste there, and I was back to cutting. There we go. That just really opened up the area a little bit more. Makes it look a little bit better from the road. Just something that I like anyway. Some people probably would have just left that, but hey, I like the way it looks now. Everything else down there is on a pretty big hill, and I don't really feel safe going up there and cutting it by myself. I might get somebody else over there to help me. Got it cleaned up a little bit. Phew. Yeah, like I said, I'm back to making more videos, so hopefully I should be putting one out weekly. Anyways, if you guys like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. God bless. As always, have a good one. See you later.